I'm Eunie Smith. I'm the president of Eagle Forum of Alabama, and I'm the first vice president of National Eagle Forum. And how did I ever get started in public policy to begin with? Well, shortly after my husband and I married, we attended a study group with other couples that was based on a manual by the Coast Federal Savings and Loan Company. I happen to remember that because it was anti-communist and pro-America. And it caused us to appreciate our freedoms, and it caused us to really be concerned about the threat at that time to freedom in America. The first time I met Phyllis Schlafly was through Albert Lee. We had both volunteered, Albert Lee and I had, in the Goldwater campaign. And of course, everybody had read Phyllis's Choice Not an Echo, 75 cents back then, and distributed it. But I hadn't met her until several years later when Albert Lee introduced me to her. And then I read her piece that was put out in November of 1972 entitled, "What's Wrong with Equal Rights?" And it just constrained me to work to stop this proposed amendment to the U.S. Constitution that was called the Equal Rights Amendment. That began 44 years of volunteer work with Eagle Forum and with Phyllis. I was co-chairman of Alabama Stop ERA. And actually, during those years, I got Phyllis involved in her first public debate. I didn't realize at the time that she hadn't done it before, but it was in 1974. And the Junior League of Birmingham was going to present a program on ERA. So I got them to pass a motion which required that they bring in Phyllis Schlafly and an opponent of like stature, which turned out to be Sissy Farenthold, who was an attorney and had just been elected governor, a lieutenant governor of the state of Texas. Well, Phyllis just decimated her, which I knew she would because Phyllis had the facts, and she's so articulate, and she was able to present those facts with grace and charm, typically. The debate was attended by leaders in the legislature, and it was played, it was videoed and played on public television in the state numerous times, an hour-long debate, and it really had a significant impact on our ability to stop the Equal Rights Amendment in the state of Alabama. Several years later, it was 1974, I think. I was driving Phyllis in one of her many, many trips to the state to discuss ERA. And she said, now Eunie, she said, I've decided, I want to talk to you about this, that we need another organization. And I thought, what? I mean, I'm knocking myself out now doing Stop ERA with 3 little children. How do we? And she said, we need it because the feminists, even if they don't get ERA, even if they stop ERA, if we stop it, they will continue until they get every one of their plans, their programs, everything on their agenda, piecemeal, instead of in one fell through ERA. So she said, we need another organization. And I thought we would call it Eagle Forum. And I thought the motto should be, they that wait upon the Lord, Isaiah 40:31, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And at one of those banquets in 1988, actually, I had the privilege of introducing Phyllis myself. And I really spoke too long because where do you begin and where do you stop? There's so much to say. But I said then, and I think it's still true, that the thing that I appreciate most about Phyllis is her faithfulness. Ever since I can remember, she signed her letters, especially to her volunteer leaders, faithfully, Phyllis. And she has remained faithful to God's calling on her life. she's also remained faithful to her volunteer leaders. She has appreciated, really cherished, I'm sure, their love for her and their respect for her. And she's reciprocated that love and respect to them. I don't know how many times over the years I heard Phyllis say to me, our volunteer leaders in our states are absolutely wonderful. What they've accomplished, we just can't measure. That's true about Phyllis, of course. Her amazing accomplishments are immeasurable. But just as amazing are the accomplishments of all these state leaders whom she recruited. And when you think about Eagle Forum, when you think about her legacy, what I believe we want to see, what I want to see, is her ongoing legacy through the volunteer leaders across the United States.